guys, it's Alec here at my outdoor gym here at my house in Pretoria, South Africa, and I want to spend some time to show you guys the different forces that you can actually place on a dip stand. And why that's very important is our bodies have multiple force directions that it actually needs to kind of like move in to work different muscles. For instance, a pull or an upward force works a bicep, whilst a push or a downward force works a tricep. So it's important to understand the forces that you have around you and that you can actually push on or get out of a piece of equipment so that you can ultimately use it to your benefit when you train. All right, so the dip stand is a three-component device that goes onto a single column. It consists of 2 crunch bars and a dip stand. Okay, and this dip stand can move, and ultimately it can also stow away should you want to make it neat next to your column. Right, so let's first start. Firstly, you can have a downwards force that you can get out of the dip stand. Right, so at the top position, this is Luna. Good morning. This is a downward force, so I can actually use it to as a top position and to get downward force in it. So I can pull it down. So now with that downward force I can place on it, I can pull myself up, but obviously I'm placing downwards force onto the dip stand, right? And it can actually handle quite a lot. I mean, right. Now, that's a downwards force, but that's a body weight force. You can also do a downwards resistance force. So I'll take okay, so I can hang on it, which gives quite a lot of different dynamic. Or you can do like a lat pull down from here and pull it down, okay? Or down. Or down. Okay, so that's a resistance downwards force. You can also take my resistance band right, just on one arm, and do a tricep. Okay, so downwards force with a resistance. You can also put a suspension strap. Now I can hang on it. Okay, those are the downward forces. Okay, now I'm going to move it to the bottom and show you. Can actually now instill upward forces on it as well. That's quite important because an upwards force has got a complete different dynamic, and it's a complete new amount of or different types of exercise you can actually also do as a result of it. So this is called a little security bracket, and it actually helps also make sure that the dip stand stays in position. So we slide it in at the top of the dip stand over the team. Right. Now it won't be able to pop out anymore. Now I can still, in this position, I can still instill a downwards force on it. It's down, okay? Okay. Right, so that's downwards, now upwards. Or yeah. See, I can do a squat from here. Okay, I can do a bicep curl. So it's a nice upward force. You can even do a type of a deadlift, a straight leg deadlift. Okay, so upwards forces and downwards forces, resistance, and we can do body weight upward forces. Security bracket. Slide it in. Remember, safety is always key in any environment where we move our bodies, okay? Now, I can actually push this upwards. So, I'm actually pushing it up with my shoulders, upwards body force, meaning I've got a kind of a push environment, and I'm going to that squat with a shoulder press. Then the last one is a sideways force. It'll be over here, and this would be a sideways force. Okay, so you can also do it this way. So that sideways force means I can now do different types of exercises again, where it gives me a different dynamic, okay? And if I start combining, for instance, a downwards and a sideways force, I've got an angled force. That means I've got a whole dimension of forces that I can place and that I can use to my benefit when I train, so that I've got many different options of body weight, resistance, suspension, and different types of training to exercise whatever I'm trying to exercise, what muscle group I'm trying to activate. So the forces is quite important to understand, because our muscles are activated with certain forces, and the direction of the force depends on what muscle group you're actually activating. So it's important for you to understand those different dynamics. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. I have. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, gym your way.